Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Things Politics. Let's get right to it. Andrew Mount-Batten-Windsor, all right, the Duke of York, was connected to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein through a long-term social acquaintance initiated by Ghislaine Maxwell in 1999. The relationship involved visits to Epstein's properties, all right, including a 2010 stay after Epstein's 2008 conviction, leading to intense scrutiny and Andrews' withdrawal from public duties. All right, now I'm bringing this up because Andrew is in the news. He was arrested just recently. This is an individual who has been or who was documented um, having a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. They were acquaintances. In any event, that acquaintance led to improprieties, so to speak. Andrew was held under the fire for this, and he, in his own way, tried to account for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, especially after the fact of Jeffrey Epstein's conviction for sexual abuse. All right. That being said, I have a clip, and this clip is courtesy of CNN news channel. Courtesy of them, we appreciate having use of this clip. We're gonna jump into this clip and then comment after, or through portions of this clip. So here we go. Let's listen to this.
Britain's former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now known as Andrew Mount-Batten-Windsor, he was taken into custody in Norfolk just a short while ago. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mount-Batten-Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing over his ties to Epstein. King Charles had stripped his brother of his titles back in October and has since evicted him from Windsor. Let's get back down to CNN's Salma Abdulaziz, who joins us live in London. Salma, what's the latest that you're hearing?
I want to start by asking maybe questions of what we don't know and what we do know so far. So we do know that he's been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, but there's a lot of details that are still missing here, of course, Rahel. We don't know the specifics of the allegations of this investigation by the police. We're talking about a period of time between 2001 to 2011 when he was representing the UK as a trade envoy. But what are the specific allegations, the specific accusations of misconduct? We don't yet know that. What information actually prompted Thames Valley Police to make this arrest? That's the key question here, because we understand that they have been assessing this claim for some time now, I would say a period of days. That latest trove of emails where we see these allegations come to light has been out for a few weeks now. So what was the trigger? What was the switch? What was it that the police held on to that said, okay, now is the time when we need to take this very extraordinary action, of course, in this country? We also don't know where Andrew Mount-Batten-Windsor is currently being held. We don't know where he is being held. We simply know that he's been arrested, but we don't know any details beyond that or what the status of that is in terms of his arrest.
Well, one thing is for sure, we're talking about a member of the royalty in the UK, in Britain. So wherever he's held, I would wager it's not a jail cell. It's not a jail cell. In any event, I'd just like to give a little more substance to this story. The introduction to Jeffrey Epstein, Andrew's introduction to Jeffrey Epstein, was by way of Ghislaine Maxwell, who was introduced. She introduced it to in 1999, after which they socialized in high-profile circles. What's really should be telling, or what should be telling, is the fact that, okay, now it wasn't just sexual abuse allegedly that he was involved in. He's also now, his arrest evolves around the passing of information, sensitive information, to Jeffrey Epstein that should not have been privy to Jeffrey Epstein. So now the question begs, okay, what else is really going on with Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and the Epstein files. This is something I think, and I've said this on All Things Politics 26, that it is deeper than Jeffrey Epstein or the Epstein files. I think that there are files within the files that have yet to be exposed. And this is why I think it is very imperative, it's important that the public, especially those in higher office who have the authority to bring forth this information, to uncover it so that we, the people, the public, citizens of these United States and the world, could really understand how deep this is and in what respect does this touch the Jeffrey Epstein files and everyone in it. How far does it go? You know, how far reaching is it? Was it just this sexual abuse ring or human trafficking ring, or is it deeper than that? The question remains to be seen, but this right here may open some more files.
And we still don't know if he's been interviewed under caution. That's what it's described as in this country. So essentially, has he been asked questions? Has he sat down with a police officer and been asked questions as of yet? And where has he been asked these questions? What location has he been taken to? What do we actually know right now?
And that's what I was saying. I don't think, because this is a member of royalty, and it just try to think for a minute how they would take that. You know, arresting royalty is one thing, but then detaining him in a police station, in a cell, is something I don't think that they would tolerate. You know, that's just my take on it. You know, they, in a lot of respects, are above the law. This is why we have this issue the way it is. This is why this issue exists, because those who deem themselves above the law thought that the law couldn't touch them. All of a sudden, reality has stepped in and shocked very, very many, all of them, back into the present. It seems that that pass to not have to answer for your actions, the deeds, you know, your behavior has been revoked.
Well, what we do know is Mr. Andrew Mount-Batten-WINDSOR, former Prince Andrew, who only earlier this month was forced out of the royal residence, pushed into his brother's residence, the Sandringham estate, which is currently being searched by police, has now faced a watershed moment, really, not just for himself, but for the royal family and really for this country at large.
Now, again, Andrew, Prince Andrew, again, was an associate, I would say probably maybe even a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. And I say that just because the visits and events they both attended, Epstein attended events at royal residences. Imagine that, including Windsor Castle and Sandringham House. All right. Now that you have to have an in to get into these places. These places are not open to the public or just any old body, you know. You have to have known something or be a part of something that would give you pass or license to come on in and hang out with the royal family. It's a lot to this, people.
Being arrested. Now, again, being arrested does not mean being guilty. We do not know the specifics here of why the police have taken this extraordinary action of arrest. That is the detail we need. But you can imagine that the royal family is reeling. King Charles has been trying to get ahead of this time and time again.
I think then also that this is this could be looked at or considered as a cover-up in a way. All right, let's bring him out and to the public, expose that, okay, he's being arrested for, you know, some probably trumped up charges to make like he's being held accountable for something. I think that this is a way for them to get him or extract him from this issue evolving around the Epstein files. That remains to be seen. This is just an opinion of mine. Again, he had admitted that he stayed at Epstein's mansion, especially around 2010, for a number of days, actually. And again, this was after Epstein was convicted of sex offenses against a minor. All right. Now, the controversy stemming from that is that Andrew stated he met Epstein to end the friendship, later expressing regret for the association, which he admitted was not something that was becoming of a member of the royal family. Wait a minute, damn that. But it just should not be something becoming of a human being, especially when you know right from wrong. You know, any human being, whether he's royalty or not, should not associate with individuals you know have been convicted of crimes or sex crimes against minors, children. You know, so there's a lot to this. And again, I think that this is the way, this is a way for the royal family to extract him, separate him from whatever's coming down the pipes in the Epstein files, or whatever other files inside the Epstein files will be open. They're trying to find a way to get him out of the limelight in regards to the Epstein files.
Year, he stripped his brother of all his royal titles. I said he's pushed him out of the royal residence. He even took this really extraordinary step of preempting the possibility of this happening right now by saying he was willing to support the police in any inquiry that they had. So there's going to be a sense in this country, first of all, that this has caught up with Prince Andrew. He has been long under question, long under suspicion for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, a relationship that he appears to have lied about in the past, saying that he ended his relationship with Mr. Epstein once he was a convicted sex offender, so around 2008. Now, in these latest email troves, that does not appear to be the case, and it is now clear that he did continue that relationship after Epstein was convicted, and it is that information that led King Charles to strip him of his royal titles, to take these extraordinary steps to try to get ahead of what's happening here.
And again, I think that is the move of the royal family, to try to get ahead of this avalanche of accusations of involvement with convicted sex offenders, with minors, and a whole lot of other things that, again, I think will come out in the open. They are, the royal family, the best of the best in terms of making sure that the royal family is not seen in a negative light. They're going to deal with this, but they're going to deal with it in such a way, and it is the opinion of, the host, me, saying this, that they're going to deal with it in such a way to where they will extract him from that Epstein issue, that debacle, or whatever you want to call it, but have him held accountable or responsible for something way, way less serious or more minor. That's, our take on it here at All Things Politics 26. Let's get back to this clip.
But again, it has caught up with them. There is going to be also a bit of empathy, I imagine, in this country for his family, the York family, as they are known here. He has 2 young daughters. They're in their 30s. They have their own families. Their faces have been splashed all over the media for the last few days. So many questions here swirling around what is, first of all, a family that represents this country, the monarchy as an institution, and how Mr. Andrew Mount-Batten-Windsor represented it as a trade envoy. And I did write down some details of the emails that could be in question here. Around 2010, he appears to have forwarded government report visits, details of those visits in Vietnam, Singapore, China. There are emails that indicate that Mount-Batten-Windsor forwarded investment opportunities for gold and uranium in Afghanistan. He had a duty of confidentiality between 2001 and 2011 as trade envoy. Did he abuse the public office?
So I think then, again, and this is just my take on it, that the royal family will strip him completely of his titles and send him on his way to a college somewhere in Windsor, take him out the public limelight. But there's no way that the royal family will allow him to continue to be dragged through this muck and mire that we are all, privy to, called the Epstein files. They're going to extract him from that process. He won't pay any, he would not be held responsible for that per se, for that. Again, they're already setting down the groundwork for how they're going to go about dealing with this. They're putting more emphasis on how it's affecting the royal family, as opposed to how his actions or his involvement, association with Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and those minors involved with Jeffrey Epstein and all the allegations surrounding those things that took place. They're going to make sure that he does not have to face the music in that respect. Again, this is the royal family, do the research on the history. There's so much worse probably that they've gotten other members of the royal family out of without any consequences to that royal family, other than being shamed or put over in a corner or taken out of the limelight in terms of being front and center with the royal family in terms of events and processions, parades, that sort of thing. His involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, again, it goes deeper than just the allegations of sexual abuse or human trafficking dealing with minors. It is now an issue as to him giving up information, confidential information evolving around resources and dealings with other countries, the royal family or the Great Britain, dealings with other countries in terms of resources. How that will affect him, well, it remains to be seen. Who he gave, him giving the information to Jeffrey Epstein, the question remains is, who did Jeffrey Epstein give this information to, and what was the cost of it? What was the compensation for divulging confidential information in terms of a country's or sovereign nations' dealings, business dealings with other countries? There's, I think, a deeper dive in this situation. And again, we've yet to see the end of this whole circus.
Did he violate government information? Did he violate the Pact for Confidentiality? That is the question the police are asking right now. The details around that, we have yet to know.
Running a digital signage network.
So this is the kind of story where it generates a flurry of text links, people trying to put together what they know now. Can you remind us the state of play here in the U.S.? Right now, it's the House Oversight Committee, right? Like who is investigating what at this point?
The people should be investigating this at this point, and I'll go one further. The people should be in contact with their representatives in terms of what they want the representatives to address. Again, it's the people. It's the people. It's not the politician that should run things or do things as they see fit. They are there to work and do the bidding, the biting of the people. All right. That's just the way it is. That's the way it was written or is designed to be. A lot have changed in politics over the decades and last century or two. However, if the Constitution does not hold the weight of what is written, in the Constitution in terms of the people running the government, the people being the decided factor in what the government does, says, or how it conducts itself, then the people are at a loss. The people are in real trouble. Let's hope that this actually gets to the point where we get to understand what's really going on, not with just Prince Andrew, but the Epstein files and all the other files contained in that file. Let's hope it gets to that. Okay. This is all things politics. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. We appreciate your viewership and participation with this channel. Your support only enables us to do more, to find more informative and educational information to pass on to you, the people. That being said, take care of yourselves and each other.